The trapezoidal rule helped us approximate an area under the curve. We also have Simpsons Rule. Simpsons Rule is over here, where delta x is just the size of your interval. And then these are each of the endpoints of every interval, x sub 0, x sub 1. So let's start with that. Let's find the intervals we're going to have. They want us to estimate the area under the curve between 1 and 3. So that means we start at 0. First interval ends at, start at 1, ends at 1.5. And then from 1.5 to 2. And then from 2 to 2.5. And then from 2.5 to 3. There's our 4 intervals. So x sub 0, x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, and x sub 4 is what we're going to be using in Simpsons Rule. Okay, so if you plug in everything into the formula, delta x is 0.5 because that's the size of the intervals. And then f of x sub 0, that just means we're supposed to plug in x sub 0 into the function. And so x sub 0 is 1, and if you plug in 1 into this function, 1 squared is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, so this is 3 squared to 2 here. And I think I was checking, they said a decimal approximation on this one, so I guess we could do that later. This is 3 squared roots of 2. And then we need to plug in x sub 1. So we're plugging 1.5. No, there's no way. We've got to have decimals. 1.5 squared plus 1.5, and then the square root times 1.5, times 3. So when I plugged in x equals 1.5, I got 5.809. And we need to multiply that by 4 according to the formula. So 4 times 5.80, 9475. And then it's 2 times x sub 2, so the next endpoint in our intervals. So plugging in 2 into the function, 2 squared is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, square root is 6, and then times 3. So x sub 2 plugged into the function gave us 7.348469, and then I need to multiply it by 2 according to Simpsons Rule. So here's the next part of our sum. Let's delete that 2 if we can. There we go. And then it's going to be times 4, times 2, times 4. Those alternate. So we plugged in x equals 2. Now we need to plug in x equals 2.5. So 2.5 squared in the original function plus 2.5. Take a square root and times 3. And then we're on a times 4 because we rotate times 4, times 2, times 4. So times this by 4. So this is the next part of our sum. And now we need to plug in 3. So 3 squared plus 3 square root times 3. And now we're on it. This is the last term in the sum. So we don't multiply it by 2 or by 4. The last term, it just stays the same. So it's 10.3923. Okay, and then once we add those up, we should be all set. So square root of 2 times 3 plus 4.58. Oh, sorry, I still got to multiply those. Okay, so that 4 times 5.809 is this part. So square root of 2 times 3 plus that result plus 14.696938. That's enough there. Okay, I've added them all up. Now I need to multiply by 0.5, then divide by 3. So I got 14.6777 for using Simpsons Rule. So if it's a graph, same type of thing, 0 to 4, estimating the area under the curve, 4 subintervals, so 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. You just get the y values from the graph. So using Simpsons Rule, the delta x is 1 because that's the length of each interval. F of x sub 0. So the first part has a y value of 5. The second part at x equals 1, x sub 1 has a y value of 2, so that's 4 times 2. And then x sub 2, so if we plug in 2, we get out 4 for a y value, so this is 2 times 4. So if we plug in 3, we get out 5, so we got 4 times 3. Remember, it goes times 4, times 2, times 4, alternates. And then the last one, we don't multiply by anything. If you plug in x equals 4, you get out y equals 2. Okay, so if we add those up, so that's 10 plus 5 plus 8 plus 12 plus 2, and divide by 3. That's 37 over 3, I think, is what they'd want. Oh, it actually says I did something wrong. So if you plug in x sub 0, you get out 5. That's right. If you plug in 1, you get out 2. That's right. If you plug in 2, you get out 4. That's right. And I'm alternating times 4, times 2, times 4. So if you plug in 3, you get out 5. Oops, I messed up there. This should be a 5. I'm sorry. Okay, let's try that again. So that's 20. Oops. Plus 2 plus 8 plus 8 plus 5. So that's 43 over 3 should be our final answer. When you add those up, then divide by 3.